So guys, I'm going to date myself over here, but if you are, a late millennial, you know about the Archie comics. And there was this beautiful character in it called Veronica. Well, my friend Liz looks like a real life Veronica. Her face is perfect. She's beautiful. She's got great skin. And so when she moved to Miami from LA, she goes to me, I have this incredible injector. You need to meet her. She doesn't believe in traditional fillers. She does everything like with rejuvenating aesthetics. And I'm like, wait, what? Who is this girl? And so that's how I met the amazing MJ. And MJ, I was so excited to sit down with you and tell my audience all about where the beauty industry is going, what are the alternatives, and how can we age gracefully?
Yes. So let's throw fillers out the door and let's welcome regenerative aesthetics. Regenerative aesthetics has been, a game changer in the industry in general. I think when I first started, people are like, are you crazy injecting stem cells under eye? I'm like, but what are we going to do? Blow them up with filler?
Listen, I want to talk about the stem cells piece because you told me about it. Clients are ordering it. So they're mesenchyme stem cells, correct?
They're amniotic fluid.
Okay.
Like basically pure amniotic fluid. And what they've done to regrow, the way they can repair the under eye, the fine lines, the tissue, the hollowness has been incredible. It's one of our fan favorites.
Things, yeah.
It's something that we always do in the practice.
And when it comes to that, so where are you sourcing the embryonic stem cells from?
Well, that's from a lab here in the States.
Okay.
A company dear to me that I work with, and that's kind of top secret.
Yeah, no, of course. And are they testing the product before it's getting sent out?
Oh my God,
People are going to be like, hey, we want to test it. We want to make sure we're not injecting something. What if somebody carries a certain marker or disease or something?
Of course. Not only that, a big thing to look for is stem cells, is finding patients who were not previously vaccinated. That's been
huge.
The shortage on stem cells, and I think that that's what makes our stem cells so expensive.
Right.
To find that little niche, to find that is quite difficult. Yeah.
Because just so people are listening, even if you haven't been vaccinated, but you take in a stem cells or something else from somebody who has been vaccinated, you can still get the spike protein. And there's this whole theory out there as well about vaccine shedding. I'm not going to tell you guys about it. You can go look into it yourself. But it's, it exists and people are seeing it, and research is starting to show it more and more as well. So you really have to be discerning when you're getting something which is from somebody else donated, even fat like Renuva, which is a product that I love.
I can't live without Renuva.
So how long ago did you start doing like stem cells for the under eyes and seeing the results and being like, this is amazing?
So maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we started stem cells under the eye. I think 4 or 5 years ago, stem cells were still so hush-hush. It was like, what are you doing? And why are you doing it? I think we've come to a point where people are more open to human tissue because that's essentially what it is. Yeah. I always joke, I'm like, if anyone sees the back of our office and all these medical freezers, they're going to be like,
really dead bodies.
What is she housing here? But it's all Renuva and it's all stem cells and amniotic fluid, and it has been a game changer in the regenerative space.
Do people get bruising under the eye when you put it in, or can you get
It can happen. Bruising can happen. I think anytime we're working with a needle, the entry point is primarily where they would ever get a bruise. We do use the cannula always under eye, just, no sharp objects. We don't need to burst any tiny veins that we have there. And that helps minimize bruising. It's really rare. I don't think I've ever had like a huge black under eye.
And generally, because I will show people like before and afters, right? What are some of the things people are seeing right away from using something like stem cells under the eyes?
So that's great. I have people come into my office all the time and they're like, we don't see it. I don't see it. Regenerative aesthetics is all about your before and afters because the results are not there instantly like filler. Yeah. We're talking about 12 weeks, right? 16 weeks sometimes. So we have the patient usually on day one that you do the procedure, we already schedule you for 8 weeks. I'm like, don't call me until 8 weeks because nothing is going to happen. Yeah. Your under eyes are not going to be better. You're not going to see results. Come back 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Let's take pictures. Let's reassess and then go from there. And it's like time and time again, the patients are like, we don't see it. Oh, there's the before and after. Oh, there it is. You got to wait. You have to wait natural.
And how much does a treatment like that generally cost? And how long does it last?
We do the stem cells under the eyes for $2,500. We do our IV stem cells for $6,000.
And the IV stem cells are exosomes?
The IV stem cells, we go back to the amniotic fluid. I really love what the amniotic fluid. And yes, essentially, they're all exosomes. They're all,
Okay.
yeah, they're all essentially exosomes, but the pureness of the exosome or the stem cell, I think, is where,
Makes a difference.
is
The quality
what
of
makes
it.
the difference, right?
Can we
Like
go
how many times they make them in the lab and then they multiply them. How many times was that multiplied? What's the strength?
So you want something that's more multiplied or less multiplied?
Less multiplied.
Oh yeah, because it's still higher.
You don't want
yeah.
something hyper diluted.
MJ, I also want to go back a little bit. So how did you get started in the, kind of the beauty space? What was your background?
Okay. It all started, my medical background started in trauma and critical care for years and years.
Amazing.
Being here in Miami, I worked at Jackson and Kendall. Those are the two trauma hospitals. Yep. And we love that, but I love the quickness of trauma, the critical thinking, but high cortisol levels. So after some years of not having a lunch break, I decided that I wanted to make women feel happy and confident and change from this sometimes sad setting into a more
Positive uplifting.
positive. So we started aesthetics, and quickly I was bored.
Yeah.
So not to challenge any or not to downplay an aesthetic injector, but there was no more lab reviews. There was no more of that critical thinking. So I started thinking, okay, how do I merge these two worlds that I really love
Longevity
without
and
killing
beauty.
myself? Right.
Yeah.
And I think the answer was cellular health. That was the answer. Still practicing medicine, because what I do in my practice today is every day I'm looking at labs. I look at images, whether it's MRI, brain scans that we send patients to do, clearly heart scans.
Why MRIs and brain scans?
Well, we want to get the full picture, and I think that's the big difference with Tonic. We're not just doing regenerative aesthetics like
just
on
filling
your
it. Yeah,
face.
yeah.
It's your whole body. It's your systemic. We are our cellular health. So if you're great on the outside, you can't be. Well, actually, I should rephrase that. You cannot be great on the outside
Unless you're good
if
on the
the
inside.
cells are not doing good on the inside.
Right.
They just go hand in hand. How long has beauty and medicine been separated? It's like, here's a med spa and here's your provider, your primary. Why? It all starts with cellular health.
It's so funny you're saying that, because everyone always tells me, hey, you have great skin. And I was like, it's not a cream or a topical that I'm putting on my face. I really take care of my inside. I'm having enough healthy fats. I'm taking phospholipids. I'm making sure I'm getting enough sleep, water, like hydration, all of that stuff that makes a difference to my skin tone, texture, how I look on the outside. And I always say, no cream is going to save you at the end of the day. And if you have chronic inflammation, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. Oh, topicals are a whole thing in themselves.
Yeah.
But yes, so cellular health comes first. If your hormones aren't optimized, if you're not sleeping, if you're not getting the right nutrition, and if you have no muscle mass,
Forget it.
let's not even go into muscle mass.
Because you also do peptides, and we're going to get into it later into the episode as well. So what is the one most underrated biohack you think?
Okay. Well, it's not really a biohack, but I think it's just the most underrated regenerative treatment, and that's microneedling.
You told me about to do microneedling. I was like, I just got a fat transfer back later this year. I don't want to melt the fat on my face. So tell me a little bit about microneedling.
Well, that would be RF microneedling, radio frequency.
Okay.
But just let's go back to basics microneedling. I think it's a golden standard that is so overlooked and treated and prescribed incorrectly to patients.
Okay.
There's this whole 400% increase in collagen with each microneedle treatment. That's what you read on Instagram. And TikTok. We love TikTok for medical advice. Yeah. But when you get into the actual medical study and you start reading, I think, well, first of all, it was 6 treatments back to back monthly that caused the 400% collagen increase.
Back to back, meaning once a week, once every 2 weeks?
Once a month.
Okay, once a month.
Once a month
Okay.
consistently. So when we're looking for regeneration, and especially on the neck, this is the number one thing people come into my office for, the thinness on the neck.
Yeah.
You need to be microneedling, and you need to do it correctly, which is 6 to 12 sessions minimum in my office. I make my patients commit.
Because I'm 42 now, so this was the first time ever I'm like, dude, what happened to my neck? And obviously, I'm not a candidate for a neck lift or anything like that, but I was like, what can I do just start preserving my neck and making sure this little lines don't get really prominent.
Okay, we're gonna take some before and afters.
We are, and
We're gonna do some monthly microneedling, and we're gonna reassess that in a year.
And when it comes to somebody like me who's like, hey, MJ, I want to keep the fat on my face. I want to keep the volume on my face. I do not want to damage my fat pads. What do you recommend for us, for somebody like me, when it comes to microneedling? What is the technique, the duration, the type?
Well, someone like you who tends to be on the thinner side and can lose fat pads, it's still Renuva. We want to keep regenerating that fat pad. That's the first thing. We want to repair, regrow, and regenerate it.
Let's tell people, what is Renuva? I love it.
Okay, Renuva is one of my favorite products, guys. We love Renuva. We absolutely love Renuva.
We swear by it.
We swear by it. Our face is filled with tiny little fat pads, and when you're a child, you look so youthful and full and plumpy, and just want to hug you. Yeah. And then what happens is that those fat pads get smaller and smaller with age, and we look like a little skeleton.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is preserve those fat pads as much as possible, especially in your case, someone who is thin and tends to burn so quickly.
Yeah.
We want to keep that volume. So Renuva is an adipose fat matrix, which will integrate with your actual fat pad. Okay. So it comes from a tissue, a human tissue bank. And again, same thing like we discussed before, it's tested for everything. Anything that comes from human tissue bank
has to be
tested and comes with its own paperwork, no HIV, no hepatitis C, no hepatitis B, all that stuff comes alongside it. And it just regrows and integrates with your fat pad.
And for people that you've put Renuva in their face how long does it take to see results from the day you put the Renuva to when you actually see the fullness and the plumpness?
Ooh, I love this question because Renuva is instant. The fat is there. It's a volumizer.
Okay.
It's there.
But the full results you don't see right away. You see it at the minute you inject and then it kind of goes down.
Yes. And then it goes down and then you're kind of waiting. And it's about 12 weeks, I would say, is your end result.
Okay.
And I still think even Renuva needs to be built a little bit.
Like, yeah.
2 or 3 rounds sometimes. Again, 12 weeks apart. I'm really scared of blowing people up.
Yeah. Because whenever I text
it's a
you, you're like, nope.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone wants to be like, I want to do it now. I'm like, can we let this regenerate and see what it looks like before you look like a blowfish from 17 bottles of Sculptra?
Because it's not something you can dissolve. It's not a filler. So,
no.
Yeah.
It's not going to dissolve. That's important too. It's going to integrate with your tissue, and that's important for safety.
Yeah.
People need to know that they're going to a provider who knows where to put this product because it's there and it's not going anywhere.
And then when it comes to Renuva, unlike Sculptra where you need to build multiple times, right? Like, I personally have not loved Sculptra because I was like, dude, I have such a thin face. It takes so much Sculptra to even get to that point. But Renuva I've absolutely loved. What's the difference between the two for anybody listening?
I think, my personal opinion, are you waiting for Sculptra to fill your face? Because it's never going to do that.
Yeah.
So, but I think you love Renuva because it does give you a little bit of volume.
Yeah.
It's replacing the fat pad. Sculptra, all Sculptra does is build type 1 and 3 collagen bands. So people think that it lifts and pulls because we put it behind the line of ligament and it does give a slight little tug.
Yeah.
But the tug is from the tightness of the collagen bands that now help with the elasticity.
Okay.
That's why when we do Sculptra in the practice, we record the patient's elasticity. Not where the face is sitting. We want to know is those collagen bands making that skin stick back
to place.
Back to place, yeah. So I think if patients don't understand that Sculptra is primarily for collagen production, type 1 and 3, for elasticity of the skin, for skin quality, and if they're waiting for volume from Sculptra, they're going to be disappointed every time.
So if somebody comes to you, how can you tell if they're a patient, they're a candidate for Sculptra or Renuva? Is it the end goal? Is there how they want to look?
It's usually both.
Okay.
It's very rare that it's not both in my healthy aging plan for them because, again, one addresses fat pads and the other one collagen. And those are both things when you think of regenerative aesthetics that you want to keep
going.
Yeah.
And you cannot do Renuva under the eyes, correct?
No Renuva under the eyes.
Okay.
Could it be off-label? Might have done it before?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Has it worked for people?
I think it works.
If you have hollowness.
Yes, but in an extreme tiny amount, in the right plane, and very hyperdiluted.
Okay.
tiny amount.
Okay, and just underneath, not on the top lid or anything.
No.
Okay.
I haven't done it on the top.
When
lid.
you guys get patients in, especially in your LA practice and stuff, and obviously you're expanding, I'm excited that you're going to be in Miami more. When you get patients in, when you're looking at their labs, what are the first type of markers you're looking at and trying to assess before you even want to touch their face and get them started?
Yeah, we do have a full panel, and it's actually, well, I can't even say this because.
Just say it.
Okay, we actually are competing with Function Health.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Well, I know you work with him, so I don't know.
So you're competing, so you have a
Okay.
full panel. Say it again.
Okay, so we now have a new full panel that competes with Function Health because
Amazing.
for quite some time, our patients were coming in with their own labs, and our lab just wasn't able to do that amount of biomarkers
Right.
for that price. So I think after much negotiating,
Yeah, that's
my
amazing.
lab,
Yeah.
and I think the owner getting tired of me calling him, we finally negotiated a full lab panel. So we try for the patient to do that. Again, it's the same price as Function. It's very well priced for the
Right.
amount of
Blood work you're getting back,
135 biomarkers. And we try to start that, and that's the whole health.
So that's what you start with, and then you're looking at some patients and doing like body scans and MRIs and stuff before you sit to the point and start injecting them.
No, we don't make patients do a whole markup. I have patients who just see me for peptides.
Okay.
I have patients who just see me for stem cells. I have patients who just see me for GI, for gut issues, where we do gut maps and figure it out. I think it's very much based on the patient's
Needs.
signs, symptoms. Yeah.
And let's talk about peptides as well, because Liz takes peptides from you and she loves them and she swears by them. What are some
And
of
you're
your,
next.
Huh? Yes. I mean, I love peptides. I love them.
I
I
know
always
you take
cycling them in
peptides.
and out. I love them. I started peptides 6 years ago, and people are like, "You're crazy," and I'm like, "This is going to be the new thing," and it is today.
Yeah.
You know. And so, for anybody listening, what are peptides? Peptides are short chain amino acids that send different signals to your body. So you can take a peptide for gaining more muscle mass, having deeper sleep, better cognitive function, better recovery after working out. You have peptides like GHKCU which is a copper peptide known as a beauty peptide. We're also realizing more and more that peptides beyond just the service can be tied to things like fertility, longevity, so many different things. And essentially it signals to your body to do certain things. So it's a chain, amino chain is normally 12 to 26, correct? That's how
Correct.
long the chain is. Thank God I know my shit. And different ones need to be stacked in different ways. And the best thing to do with peptides is obviously you cycle them in and out. So you take a protocol, you do it for 2 months, you stop, because you always want your body to not be reliant on something that is external. You want your body to also remember how it's supposed to function internally.
Yes. So there's a whole debate on peptides. There's a whole debate
And
on
bioregulators.
Oh, yes, and NAD.
Yeah.
There's debates on how long you should take these and cycle them. I think when it comes to, let's say, NAD, NAD for me has been a complete game changer with my brain fog, mental clarity. Like, I can physically feel it after subcutaneous injections for 3 months. There's this whole thing of, do you have to cycle it? Do you not have to cycle it? I don't cycle it. Some patients, though, do better with a MOTS cycle in the middle.
Okay.
So peptides is not this standard protocol. We're still so individualized.
Of course.
Even those receptors are individualized. So I really think the future for peptides is more personalized data. I think in the future we're going to have more personalized, like,
And be able to
wearables.
measure it and track it,
Yeah,
yeah.
wearables that will help us better
understand.
what those short chain amino acids are doing in our body to be able to live.
What are some of your favorites?
I can't live without my NAD.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I cannot live without my retatrutide.
What's
Retatrutide
that?
changed my life.
What is that?
Retatrutide is the third GLP-1 agonist
Is it
that came out.
trizepatide?
It's stronger than trizepatide,
Okay.
and I shouldn't say stronger. It has an extra agonist.
Okay.
So we have trizepatide is GLP-1 and GIP, and retatrutide is GLP-1, GIP, and now we added glucagon, which is a hormone in the liver.
Yeah.
And that helps support the pancreas. And for me, who I was so frustrated seeing patients come in and out of my practice, just living optimally, better health, more muscle mass. And I was on semaglutide. I was on
Yeah.
trizepatide.
So this one
wasn't
doesn't make
working.
you lose the muscle mass, essentially.
This one also doesn't make you lose muscle mass, but it wasn't working for my metabolic health, and it was
Okay.
working for everyone else's.
Right.
And that was so frustrating. So when Retatrutide came out and something actually worked for me,
That's amazing.
after 3,500 of my patients,
Yeah.
it was working. I was like, thank you, God,
You came
for
up with this
glucagon.
product, yeah. What other ones that are you loving?
I do love any of the growth hormone type of peptides.
Epamorelin, tesamorelin, CGC.
Yes. I think everyone can benefit from a little growth hormone stimulation,
Yeah.
better sleep, faster recovery, maintaining muscle mass. It's a huge mistake, I think, to throw people on GLP-1s and not to put them on a growth hormone.
Of course, 100%.
Because, right, the growth hormone increases the ghrelin, which does increase your appetite. You want to like balance it. You don't
Yeah,
want
of
the
course.
patient to not eat. You need them on a high protein diet.
If you are taking protein powder, you definitely need to hear this. The Clean Label Project tested 160 different proteins from different vendors and brands across the US. And you're going to be shocked at the discovery that they made. Nearly half of the top selling proteins in the US tested high for lead. And if you're somebody who consumes protein powders daily, this is something you have to be concerned about. And to make matters worse, most brands do not value transparency and will not reveal their test data online. And I want my community, like myself, to always make an informed choice of what they want to be exposed to and how they consume their daily protein. And that is why I love Puri. I also sat down with the founder and had a full, honest, transparent conversation with him about how they source, how they educate their consumer, and also what their products offer on the market, which sets them apart. Their Puri PW1 protein tastes absolutely exceptional, and you know you're not getting the gunk of heavy metals in it to start your morning with. And that is why I absolutely love Puri's PW1 whey protein, and that is how I choose to start my day every morning. Every single batch is third-party tested by the Clean Label Project, and no product is ever sold unless it passes these tests. And Puri is one of the only brands in the US that has the Clean Label product certification on their products. And that is only possible because they make all their third-party testing completely transparently available to the consumer through a QR code where you can track the exact journey of the batch of product that you're purchasing. So you guys can see for yourself exactly how clean the PW1 that you're consuming in the morning is. Every single serving gives you 21 grams of minimally processed, high quality, bioavailable protein. It comes from pasture raised cows, no GMOs, no hormones, no herbicides, no pesticides, and definitely no heavy metals. So this means I can start my day with confidence knowing I'm having something super clean to support my skeletal muscle mass. My personal favorite flavor is the berberine vanilla. No artificial flavors and no funky aftertaste. To make sure your daily protein powder is not hiding any nasty chemicals and they're not being open and transparent with you. So if you want something clean, delicious, and bioavailable with transparency, go now to get this amazing discount. PURI.com, puri.com/biohack-it. Switch over to Puri's PW1 protein and you can thank me later. How many of your patients, like women, if they show low testosterone levels, are you putting them on testosterone?
Yes. No, women
Cream
need
or injections?
both.
Okay.
And I think it depends on the patient's lifestyle. What are they open to, right? But both testosterone in women, like why is it taking us so long?
I don't know. And it's
What
crazy
is
to me.
what's going on here?
It's wild. So I basically,
2025?
yeah, like we should be on it.
testosterone, ooh.
Women need it. So for example, I came back from the summer. I've been in extreme burnout. My testosterone, I use this. They're also a competitor to Function Health. It's called Jevity.
Okay.
It's an incredible blood work company. They actually come to they send the phlebotomist to your house or your office or wherever you want them to come.
So do we.
Yeah, look at that. Right? Because
Nationwide.
it's annoying.
Concierge.
I don't want to go to a Quest and sit there and queue, right? I need you to come to me. So I really like this company. I did my blood work and I wasn't feeling well, and it came back. I was in full burnout, adrenal fatigue, no vitamin D, even though I was in the sun all summer in Europe. Testosterone was totally shot, all of that stuff. And a dear friend of mine who's a functional medicine doctor, Ivan Rusical, he's actually who got me into peptides years ago, said, girl, you're going to have to go on testosterone injections. And I was like, holding on for a minute. I'm like, Ivan, like, what do you mean? He said, you have to start injecting vitamin D testosterone. MJ, I will kid you fucking not. I started doing it, and 3 weeks later, I'm like sitting in the car, and I'm like, I felt like myself
a
again.
new person.
I was having I was chronically crying. I would burst into tears. My poor podcast producer was like, literally, I'd get off a show and start like bawling. I was completely unregulated. I was like, what's going on with me? And I seen this amazing therapist, and the therapist was like, you need to go on SSRIs. And I'm like, I'm not going on SSRIs. When
like
I
al-
know
like always,
in the health and wellness space, it's my hormones, my body's not absorbing nutrients correctly. I'm going to do this my way. And I kid you not, within 3 weeks of me doing certain IVs that I did with Ivan, and then starting on peptides and starting on vitamin D and testosterone, I started feeling like a new person.
Oh.
And I was like, this is what happens with the traditional medical field. Like, your therapist can be amazing, but they don't know about nutrition.
Yeah.
They don't know about supplementation. They're not reading your blood labs. They don't know about the inflammation in your body. They do not know why you're having this deficiency. Okay, if you're having burnout, what's going on to support your adrenals? What's going on to support your liver? What's going on to support your thyroid? And I was like, thank God I know so many people in the functional space that are close friends of mine that I can go to and say, hey, I'm having this problem. Can I come see you? And they're like, yes, we're going to fix you. And yesterday I went in because I hate injecting vitamin D myself. So I drive to the clinic. I'm like, please just inject me. And the doc, he saw me, Ivan. He's like, how are you feeling? I said, I feel like myself again.
So great, so great.
But this is what happens with a lot of women after 40, because you start going into perimenopause and your hormones start fluctuating. And that is why I think the research I saw was like 1 in 4 women or 1 in 8, I have to get the exact quote though, a number are put on SSRIs because their hormones start fluctuating.
Yeah, and then they think they're going nuts, and they're not, it's just hormones. But there's something that you touched on that I think is so important, and I want to jump back into it, and that was nutrition and supplementation.
Yeah.
We are so old school in treatment, it's kind of crazy, and I think it's traditional medicine's fault.
Yeah.
We now do genetic testing for supplementation.
Wow, you
So, yes, in our practice.
Okay.
So you know how I'm sure your counter's full of vitamins?
Oh, yeah.
Throw them all away. Let's test your DNA.
Yeah.
Let's look at your epigenetics. And then we create a special supplement based off your genes.
And you work with a lab to then do that based
Yeah,
on
well,
what
I
you
work
need?
with a company who does that.
Amazing.
And girl, the way, you want to talk about feeling brand
Yeah.
new? Because our blood work changes. We're so
course,
used
it's a
to
snapshot in
treating,
time, essentially, yeah.
exactly. We're so used to treating, my magnesium level based off of this blood work, but where's the genetic deficiency? That's what we need to repair, because we don't know if you have methylation. We don't know if you're taking 27,000 vitamins, you're not absorbing them. So what are we doing? The epigenetic supplementation game is a game changer.
So somebody comes to you, how do you test them?
We swab.
Okay.
We do a cheek swab. It gets sent to the lab. It gets run through a testing process. They bring it back. They give you your whole DNA results. They tell you this is this and this is the nutrients that's missing. And then they can formulate for you either capsule or powder, which I love because I'm over capsules. I prefer it in a
having a
protein
powder?
shake. Yeah, in a powder. They specially formulate that for you. And we retest every 6 months just to make, genetics are forever, but we do want to show you the difference.
Yeah, you want to see how
That's
your
the
body's
difference between-
absorbing,
yeah.
responding to it and stuff.
Correct.
And besides, like, that's amazing. I didn't even know that. And so
We're gonna
when
get you on it.
Yeah,
My
I want to
treat.
do this. I want to do this like genetic testing for my macronutrients and
Yeah.
bioavailability. But then basically, when you're getting somebody, so this is what I'm thinking. When you're getting somebody who's chronically uninflamed, you're improving their mental health, right? Because women are going like spiraling, hormones might be deficient, they might need vitamin D, they might need testosterone. Then when you start treating them aesthetically, they probably are much happier, with their results, and the results last longer because their body's not so much in fight or flight, and they have a better relationship with themselves.
In my practice, education is key. When we can empower the patient with education, like on this whole testosterone, I want to be a bodybuilder thing, it just empowers them to make their own health decisions.
Right.
And that's, I think, the difference. For so long, we've been separating beauty and health. No, it's the same. They're one in the same. It starts at the cellular level. And I think when women start feeling better on the inside, they glow on the outside
Right.
without a laser treatment. They just feel so much better, and they have more confidence. And that's really, it starts at the cellular level, the cellular health.
And then when you are treating these women and you're getting them balanced out and they're feeling better and stuff, they obviously must like their results more because they're in a better space mentally. Because, some women, and I've seen this even with friends, are like, we want more of this, more of this, more. You're like, girl, you don't need more of that. You need to like reframe how you're looking at yourself in the damn mirror.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, sometimes we just have to say no.
No.
It's a breakup, girl. Like, cry it out. It's not lip filler.
Yeah. The filler is not gonna fix you.
Girl, it's not that. It's not that. Cry it out. You don't need more lip filler. Sometimes it's no, and it's mental. Like, mental health, and there so many times patients come to my office, I think, to talk.
Yeah. They're like,
It's
we
like-
need a friend. Phone a
Yeah.
friend.
They're like, I think I need filler, but really,
I just
my
need
man
therapy.
Yeah.
What are some of the treatments people are coming to you for the most right now?
We're doing a lot of stem cells.
Okay.
We're doing a lot of Renuva.
Love me some
We're
Renuva.
doing a lot of peptide protocols, and for some reason, there's a spike in clearly heart scans. We're doing
What's
so
that?
many of them. Don't tell
Girl,
me that.
tell me what's up. What
Let's
is
biohack the heart here. So clearly heart scans, it's a CT angio of your heart that helps you figure out your calcium channel score, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Yeah. And then they also have a third, it's like an AI that takes images of your heart, but we can now visualize your heart and your arteries in a 3D.
Okay.
Okay, so I can now scan your artery almost like a straw. Like if I'm looking into it, I can see the wall from top to bottom.
And you're
I
doing
can
this in your
see-
practice?
Wait, no, we send them to we send them to an imaging center. Don't worry,
Okay, but-
guys. But I do, even though a radiologist reads it, even though the AI reads it, I actually am so old school, and I think this is from trauma because you have to review your patients' chest X-rays every morning.
Absolutely.
You review their labs every morning. I actually review every heart scan, and they make fun of me in the office. But I actually,
That's it. My trauma training is coming
I'm
through,
like,
guys.
leave me alone. I need to know if it's soft plaque or I just need to review the scan one more time. But wait, this is incredible for cardiac health. If you can drop dead of a heart attack
Yeah.
and have perfect labs, because soft plaque.
What is soft plaque?
Oh, okay.
We want to know.
Oh, okay. So there's low density plaque, there's soft plaque. Stenosis comes from hardened plaque, right? That's not dangerous. It's dangerous in itself, of course. It can close. The more dangerous is the low density and the soft plaque. That's what could dislodge, not the hard plaque that's stuck to the side of the walls. So when you're looking at stenosis, you have to then break down that stenosis, which the AI does, of the clearly, and it'll show you exactly the percentages of what is soft plaque, what is low density plaque, and what is stenosis.
Wow.
It is such a smart scan.
Amazing.
It is
I didn't
such
even know.
And if you, we have one patient who had a horrible scan, started some medication, some protocols, some peptides, and scanned again, almost a perfect scan.
Really?
Yes,
So
I have to give you the before and after.
Yeah. I want to use the before and afters to layer over actually the show.
Yeah, because that was impressive.
For you building something that is so kind of new age, because this is still very like new age, people are now starting to kind of get educated about it. Peptides are now kind of becoming a thing. What were some of the challenges for you to build Tonic? What worked? What didn't work? What has been hard? What has been easy?
Getting patients, I think the biggest challenge is I think they see me on Instagram and they don't know my trauma background. So they're like, oh, another nurse filling lips, And then they come to my office and I'm like, where are your labs? Let me see your labs. Pull up your images. And they're like, wait, I didn't come with all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I know, but
This is how it works
this
around
is
here.
this is more than lip filler
Yeah.
appointment. This is more than a peptide protocol. This is not a gray market where you're, just
gonna show
buying
up,
them and injecting crazy things. Like, no, we do things here very
Properly.
organized and scheduled with labs. And I think people have taken beauty so lightly and then medical so separate from that. So putting them under one roof, it's hard for people to grasp the concept. But I always tell my employees, like, we are building a next generation of clinics.
Yeah.
We want to be the future. We want to show people that health and beauty belong together because it starts from a cellular level.
And works its way up.
Yep. And we want you to decide how you age. What is beauty,
And when you think about beauty, right, MJ, in your opinion, what is beauty to you?
Beauty is external, but beauty is also internal. Beauty is so many things, right? Your mental clarity is beautiful. How you present yourself with confidence is beautiful. Are you healthy? That's beautiful. Muscle mass is beautiful. Do you take care of yourself? Beauty can be so many things.
I love the external stuff of it. I'm a woman. I'm in my 40s. I really appreciate aging
And you're
gracefully.
beautiful.
Thank you. But I think beauty for me, if I think about that, is really about having this grounded confidence within yourself, and having what I'm trying to currently work on is regulating my nervous system, is to feel safe in my body, is to trust my decisions, is to have confidence in the decisions that I make and know that I'm okay. And I think that for me, with all the external help from you, Miguel Mascara, who I love, who's my favorite plastic surgeon, obviously all of that combined helps. But I think it really also comes from the inside out. So the more I know about my body, my chronic inflammation, but my mental health and having a regulated nervous system has a lot to do with how I show up externally. Because you can have all the beautiful skin and the fillers and the Botox in the world, but if you're erratic and not confident and you don't, you cannot show that as a woman.
Right, of course.
You know? And that's internal work that we have to do.
For the neurotic women, we have
what
peptides.
What are those peptides? Tell us.
C-Max and Selenk. Let's work on your nervous system. Girl, we have peptides for that.
And why do you love those two, and how do each one of those work?
Ooh, I love them. I love them. First of all, I love them together.
Okay.
And they've actually helped so many of our patients even come off benzos.
Wow.
They're really, I think, underrated or not talked about enough, right?
Right.
Like all we hear about is tesamorelin and
epamorelin and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about these two and how each one of them works, and why should they be combined?
Okay, C-Max and Selenk should be combined. One, I think they can be easily given, right? Not injected. They can be given in a nasal spray.
Okay.
A lot of people turn away from peptides because of injection.
They're
like, I can't do it. I'm like, you can do it. Your
health.
health.
It doesn't hurt at all.
I'm like, your health deserves it. Like,
it's a needle scare.
Yeah. And then we are like invested in these tiny little. I mean.
They're tiny. It's
needles,
like
they're so expensive. We buy the most expensive needles for our patients because we're like, it's not scary. But I think helping people learn how to control their anxiety, because anxiety is within.
Absolutely.
But if that peptide can help assist that person, whether it's come off benzo, sleep better, study, be more focused, which all of that, Selenk and C-Max can help with. So if you're struggling with anything neural, like, just talk to us, because there is a peptide for everything. That's the most amazing and incredible thing about peptides.
And how long can somebody be on a C-Max or Selenk? Is it, do they have to cycle it? Do they not have to cycle it? You know, because with growth hormone stuff, we have to cycle it.
Yeah, we're still cycling it.
Okay.
C-Max and Selenk. I recently read a study that you don't have to, but I think anytime we're talking about receptors, can't a receptor get tired? Like, we don't want to be stimulating any receptor 24 hours. Yeah. So I think taking a break anyways is still my favorite.
As a CEO and founder, how do you manage a company and also keep balance in your personal life? And how do you, I want to ask you this. If I had access to all the shit that you have access to, I'd be doing something every single day. How do you not? Because I'd be in there testing everything on myself. Thank God we don't work in regenerative aesthetics.
Let me tell you, it's my patient's fault. It's the 3,500 patients that I see that I do full labs for, review scans for. That's a lot for one provider over a year. But I don't have that much time. I'm very disciplined with my time. So
when's your birthday?
May 24th. I'm a little Gemini.
You're a Gemini.
Yeah. I'm pretty disciplined with my time. And I try to pick the peptides that fit best for my lifestyle. I don't really have too much time to do too much, to be honest with you. Yeah, so get on the plane, sleep. You gotta like train yourself. It's time to sleep.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, you do your NAD, and you go to work.
Yeah.
You maybe get to change in between. You see patients in Miami, you work, you get the night flight, you go to LA, you land. You're like, it's later at night, you're confused, but you can use the peptides to help assist.
And what about the beauty stuff? Because I would be sticking myself with stem cells and exosomes every month.
Okay, yeah.
I would have
do all of that.
Yeah.
Well, in my personal life, resistance training, muscle is medicine. That is like the number one organ for longevity. Yeah. Muscle is medicine. Man, consistent red light therapy. Why is it underrated? It's like microneedling.
So incredible for you, red light
therapy. You want to know why?
Circadian rhythm, collagen production, elasticity, everything.
It's underrated because people are not consistent.
Totally.
That's why it's underrated.
What do we do when we travel? Because like I'm going to the Middle East for a month. I love my red light device. What do I do?
What do you mean?
Like I normally sit in front of it every morning. So
what do you do? But you don't have the little tiny cube that you could travel with?
No, but I should get one,
yes,
right?
There you go. That's what you do. You take the smaller one.
A brand that we worked with and partnered with is actually Bond Charge. They have incredible red lights. We're actually going to reach out to Bond Charge and be like, give me a red light to travel with.
A smaller one.
Yeah, because it's
smaller cube.
So For anybody listening, red light is incredible to also help with your circadian rhythm. The more we learn about our body, the more we understand inflammation and markers. You need to balance and regulate your cortisol production. Your circadian rhythm has so much to do with that. So getting like natural light in the morning, and if you cannot get natural light first thing in the morning, then doing things like red light therapy really helps your body.
Of course.
It tells your body when to wake up, when to go to sleep. It helps ground you. It helps regulate you. Obviously, it produces, I think, 30% more collagen if done consistently. Is that?
Yes, and the word consistently is the key here.
Yeah,
because
it's every single day.
Yes, my patients always send me devices, this, that, and I always, the new face, the red light mask.
You're like, how often are you going to do it? That's up
That's
to you.
my first question to them. Are you going to use this consistently?
If not, then forget it.
If you're gonna micro channel your face twice and throw it in the,
Forget it.
Do me a favor, buy another peptide and save on the device. So consistency is definitely, it's the key. It's the key to longevity. It's everything, right? Consistent working out, consistent red light, consistent peptides, consistent.
So I want to get 3 tips from you to leave our audience with that they can apply to their life, both from a beauty standpoint, personally, professionally. 3 tips.
Okay, 3 tips in the regenerative aesthetic space. The first tip is to micro needle your neck from now until you die.
Start.
The second tip is, and this is a big one for me, it's topical creams. Learn your ingredients.
So we didn't touch upon topical cream. So can we talk about that for a minute? When we say topicals, what are some of your favorite brands, products? What's really working? What's bullshit?
Yeah. We've been with Skin Better for quite some years.
Okay.
They were just bought by L'Oreal.
Formulations might change now.
Right, which was my first question. But for now, we still are using Skin Better Science.
Okay.
I think they're in a 5-year, can't change any formulations, can't cheapen it down, I mean, that's what the bigger companies do. But I think my biggest pet peeve and what I hate the most is when patients come in and we do a skin assessment and they're like, well, I don't want to buy that because I have all this stuff at home. I'm like, perfect. Do me a favor. Go home, send me pictures of everything. Let's go through the ingredients. They never know what anything is. They never know if it works or it doesn't. And they'll literally have 17 moisturizers and nothing to work on the pigment and melasma, and they're in my office for pigment and melasma.
Yeah, you're like, hello?
And I'm like, did you read the ingredients? Did no one ever go through it with you? Every patient, we'll go back to education.
Yeah.
Every patient who comes into my office, if you're there for skin health, not only am I talking to you about products, I'm talking to you about ingredients in the product.
Correct.
And I don't care if you buy it from me or not. If
Just
you
learn.
have a hydroquinone at home, send me the picture. I just want to make sure it's not expired and it's okay.
Yeah.
And if you want to use that one, use that one. But you can't expect outcomes if you're using the wrong topicals. And unfortunately, it's so misleading. But the patients are not educated.
I know a lot of people have this question. What is the number one thing you recommend in your office for melasma, and the number one thing you treat patients at home with for melasma or hyperpigmentation?
Yes, because we are really, really good with melasma.
Yeah.
We put patients on an annual plan. That's how we're different than every other clinic.
Okay. Tell us about that.
Yep. There's an annual plan for melasma. We basically map out your year with you. We're like, what are your vacation months? When are you going to be in the sun? Where do you live? And then we can do a baseline protocol. Some months they're on a hyperpigmentation cream. Some months they're on a oral tranexamic acid. Some months they're on a microneedled tranexamic acid. And there's a whole, because melasma's forever.
Yeah.
So what is the formulation and how are we controlling those melanocytes? What acids are we using, what percentages? That's the trick of it.
Because I came back from the summer and I had melasma on my nose that I'd never had before and a little bit on my cheeks, and I came to see you and you microneedled it with the acid and it went away. Well, it's still there a little bit, but it got a lot better.
Well, we only did one, and what did I teach you about microneedling?
We're going to do it regularly once a month.
We do it all the time.
We're going to do this afternoon again.
We're going to do it today.
Yeah. So that was amazing. And I was like, wow. And then I sent one of my best friends to you because she had a baby and she has melasma on her cheeks. And I was like, wow, the results I saw from this were insane.
And let's talk about your best friend who had like thousands of dollars worth of amazing moisturizers and nothing at home to work with pigment when I told her to send me a picture.
Correct.
And I feel bad. I feel so bad for my patients because they're spending all this money and they're not getting results. And I'm like,
but they're like, the protocol is not properly put together because you need to be
Right.
working every single day, especially as we get older. I mean, we live in Miami, to things that help even out your skin tone. Always, always, always.
oh, yeah. And those things, just like anything, just like peptides, they're cycled,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So sometimes it's hydroquinone, sometimes it's tranexamic, sometimes it's kojic acid, sometimes we have niacinamide prescriptions, but we're always changing. But what stays the same is protecting the melanocyte, and you have to have these ingredients that kind of put a coat on the melanocyte so it can't hyperpigment. And when patients are just coming home with peptides and stem cells that are $1,200 from another dermatologist, those are great. They're fine. They're great additives, but you're not working on pigment.
Correct.
So now we need to have a
Talk
whole
about
new,
that.
Oh, it sucks. They have to buy a whole bunch of skincare, but I'm like, this is how we get it done.
Yeah, and listen, like if you want to get it right, you got to put together the right protocol, whether the inside, external, all of those things. What is the third tip you'd leave us with?
Ooh, stop being scared of injections and start some peptides because they are
A game changer.
They're the future.
Game changer. So I'm also really passionate about peptides in skincare in the right dose. There are a lot of brands that will bullshit you and they're like, oh, we have peptides in our skincare. The dose is not even high enough. 2 brands I personally think a little bit more commercial, but they're doing it well, and I've been using them for years and I really like them. One is what is that one called?
Is that Ally?
No,
Something
no.
Ally of Skin
Ryan,
or
what's the one that One Skin? So one of the ones I love is One Skin. One Skin has a lot of
A lot
clinical
of my patients are on
research.
them.
The OS1 peptide, their before and afters, their clinically researched studies. They have, they're showing their research and data all the time. I think they might have also gotten acquired recently, but they're really good.
Okay, One Skin, call me because I didn't know they had clinical studies.
Yes, fully backed with clinical studies, and they're doing their own clinical studies all the time. Their body lotion is amazing, MJ. Like, I really love it, and they have this OS1 serum that I love. I'm using it for 2 years. Their eye cream for 2 years, love it. The other brand that I like, which more of this like one of these biohacking brands, but their retinol is incredible. It doesn't make you peel. It's called Young Goose.
Okay.
Again, a lot of peptides, NAD. Their vitamin C is incredible, and their retinol is like nothing I've ever experienced because it does not make you peel.
It's probably double bonded.
Yes.
So
And
it's
it's
skin better.
gentle,
Yeah.
and you can use it 5-6 days a week, and it's amazing. And so these brands are something that are maybe a little bit more commercial, but are doing it well.
Yeah.
And I've seen great results from
And
it.
I think that that's great that you shared those brands because not everyone can afford, or some people are in Idaho where they don't have a
got this
cool
online.
hip dermatologist.
Yeah.
They're not in LA, they're not in Miami, and they'll be able to like easily
Correct.
access these things that are not prescription.
And
online.
they still work. And they have an Amazon storefront. Make sure, guys, do not just buy from Amazon. Make sure the brand has a storefront or you might be getting scammed.
Right. It's
And
unfortunate.
then you can also just get it on their websites, and they ship all over the country. And so I was like, these are 2 great brands. I like them. I use them. Another brand that I really like that's easy and clean, it has great hydration products and stuff, is Age and Nature. Jenna is great. I like some of her products. But these are accessible to people. And they're not necessarily medical office rated, but they've been great for my skin. And I do have hyperpigmentation.
And let's thank God for science.
Correct.
Every time a patient comes in my office and they're like holding this tube of tretinoin, I start shaking. I'm like, okay, are you peeling? It works for some people's skin, for sure. But I'm like, have you ever heard of a double bonded retinol?
That you might not freaking peel with, because I freaking hate the peeling.
It takes the...
I'm on camera so much. I don't have time to be peeling
we're
like a
not
snake.
peeling. Yeah. Alpha-Ret from Skin Better flies off my shelf. I can't keep it
Which
in
one is
stock. Alpha-Ret, and it is their double bonded molecule, but it just takes the retinol deeper. So you're not doing the cellular turnover. Like everyone doesn't need to look like an ugly duckling anymore.
Yeah.
Like, let's use science to our advantage. Everyone should be on a double bonded retinol.
MJ, I just adore you. I'm so glad Liz introduced us. And guys, you need to go look at Liz Kennedy's face. She's one of the most beautiful humans. And not because she's a close friend, she's just gorgeous.
And magnetic.
Right? Yeah.
She's just a great
and
person.
her skin is
inside and out.
incredible. And she swears, she's like, MJ is responsible for my face. And believe me, Liz looks incredible. And so I'm so glad we became friends.
Yes.
And I love educating my audience on beauty. I'm no gatekeeper. I'm so open about the treatments that I do. I was like, we should all age how we want to age and look great while doing it and support each other. So thank you for coming on the show.
No, thank you. Thank you for letting me talk about regenerative aesthetics. I hope that the future of everyone's face
It has to be.
is not fillers, it's repair, regrowth, and regeneration.
And you know what's beautiful is even plastic surgeons, who I love and adore, are starting to do hyperbaric oxygen treatments, red light therapy when they're doing fat transfers. Like Miguel Mascara's totally integrated this stuff into his practice. And I think that is the future of medicine. So if you're seeing a surgeon as well and they do not look at things from a functional lens, then do not be going to that surgeon, because your recovery and how the procedure holds up will make a big difference on how you choose to recover.
Oh my God, yes. Can I just say one thing on that topic before you close? It's insane. The amount of patients who come in now from a couple surgeons that we've been working with, it's not about the post. It's about the pre-procedure.
Pre?
Hyperbarics before, red light before, a peptide protocol before. You need to prepare
And
the
also
cell.
hormone replacement therapy before.
Yes. Prepare the cell to be optimal prior to injury.
You have better
Your
outcomes.
downtime's in half.
Yeah.
In half.
When I did my episode, I brought Miguel on twice as a guest because my audiences loved him. Miguel said his women who come in for facelifts in their 40s and 50s, who are on hormone replacement therapy versus not, the results are like night and day. He's like, the women who are on hormone replacement therapy have much better results and outcomes, and the procedure, like the facelift, neck lift, whatever it is, will last so much longer than women who are not.
Well, that's interesting because my take, and the reason we do pre and post, right? Peptides, red light is for healing.
Yeah.
So, but to know that the results can actually last longer, like where's the testosterone? I'm starting now. I'm preparing for my facelift.
That's what you do. And for example, when I did my fat transfer with him in February, I was on recovery peptides. He made me do red light therapy. He made me do hyperbaric oxygen. He was so consistent with me about that stuff. He made me run all my peptides through him. And so I had a better outcome, and the fat actually stuck versus when you do a fat transfer, you can lose a lot of fat, but my fat actually stuck on. And even now I text him, he's like, be quiet, give it a year. And I'm like, fine.
I know. You're like the regenerative patients, aren't you? I don't see it yet. I'm like, you were here yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you give me a little time?
I just want to be plump.
You are plump. You're plump and beautiful.
That's it. That's all I want. Thank you, my love, for coming on the show. And I'm so
Thank you
excited
for having me.
teach my audience about ways to age gracefully and empower you women and make you feel and live your best self. Thank you for tuning in to Biohack-it. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a short review. It really helps us reach more listeners just like you. Follow us on Instagram at biohack-it for exclusive content and the latest updates. Remember, your health is in your hand and curiosity heals.